Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I feel like I understand what people mean now when they say that they are like in their grandpa era.
Sure.
As I'm sitting here in like a big ass sweater.
Yeah.
And these like slippers that I just got.
Yeah. Oh.
And my joints hurt and I have my heating on and I just feel more curmudgeon-y than I've ever been.
Yeah. I feel like my bones are breaking. My spirit is gone.
Broken. Already broken.
Have been broken. Yeah. I want to just like, be the symbolism of the sleepy time bear at all moments, without the problematic history of the celestial tea situation.
Oh, I think I want to be the bear from like the Good Night Moon book.
Yes, that's
instead.
Great. Yeah, for sure. Just like the cozy, curmudgeon-y vibes. That's the fall mood.
If it was safe enough for me, I would be playing bingo with old people right now.
Yes, completely.
Mainly because I do really fuck with the like bingo marker things.
Yeah. Like
what is that? Why does the ink work like that?
How do they do that? What's the science?
Anyways, welcome to Into the Curmudgeon.
Yes.
It's been that way for almost 6 years, and it will always be that way.
Yeah, that is the vibe, the eternal vibe of this podcast. Welcome.
We have been eternally cursed to be curmudgeon-y and also to talk about Twilight. And you might wonder, how do those intersect? And I might say, go back to the text for that.
Yeah, it's actually quite self-explanatory, I feel. Go to the root
I would
cause.
argue that Bella Swan is curmudgeon-y in every form.
Yes.
She's a Virgo. Come on. All she reads is dusty old books. Right. She falls asleep early. She doesn't have friends. Come on now.
Yeah.
I am glad that we have made it through to November, which if you've been following us for any length of time, you know that this is an important month for this show.
Yes, right. It's anniversary season, baby.
Right. This show soon will be 6 years old.
Ugh.
Which makes me feel very old.
Yes.
But we're here nonetheless. More importantly, though, hi, how are you?
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Chilling. I'm also feeling cozy and curmudgeon-y. I'm leaning into it.
I'm glad to hear it.
I want to talk about the mole.
Okay.
That's what I want to talk about this week.
Good. Let's do it.
Did you watch The Mole, either what is currently on Netflix, or like 15 years ago, originally on TV?
The old one, yes.
Great.
The new one, I have not.
Okay. So I completely forgot about The Mole as a television concept, which is wild because it's my exact kind of like reality show jam, right? Like I remember back in the day where it was like fucking Anderson Cooper like doing this like presenting gig on it, and I was very into it. And then Netflix was like, oh hey, remember that show that got canceled or like stopped making it itself like 10 years ago? How about we do it again? And I'm like, yeah. For sure, absolutely. And if you are unfamiliar with the premise of The Mole, it is that there is a group of people,
and then it's the mole from the Atlantis movie.
Yeah, so there's a literal animated mole. Yes, correct. They're all in a house together. They're all doing challenges to like make a lot of money. But there's one person who is the mole who is actively trying to sabotage the situation. And it's like a game of like werewolf where you have to figure out who is, the rat, the mole of the scenario. And the way that the Netflix one does it, because I've obviously have not seen the original one in quite a long time, so my comparisons are off. But it's very good because the budget is like out the wazoo. Like, they rented like full prisons. They like for all these like weird challenges. They're all in Australia and like doing all these like wild helicopter rides, and like it's very like dramatic in that sense, which I appreciate.
Because the OG one, they traveled.
Yes,
like they went to different places.
Totally, yeah. So this one, they're all like relatively in Australia and like going to different places in it, but like they have like a home base. They're not like actively going a lot of places.
Good.
Right, which like, yes, because they're kind of in like literally the middle of nowhere the whole time, which is excellent. But it's just like very smart, because I think also in the past, obviously, few years of our collective experience, the way people talk to each other and like pick up on signs and pick up on like language is fully different than it was before. And a lot of people have forgotten to like how to like talk to each other in person, right? Like, so there's like all these different like layers of things going on here. And also some people are just like either the mole or they're just really bad. And like it's hard to tell what it is. 'Cause, like, every episode I'm like, I for sure know who it is, and then it's like, no, maybe they're just not good at this game or any game. And it's fascinating.
The Mole ruined me in school.
Yeah,
because it is how I approached group projects, which is not what the show was.
right.
The Mole, the original show was not like, okay, now take what this show is and apply it to your daily life. But that is what I took from it, was just like, there's always a saboteur.
Right, exactly.
About
it's like someone who's out to get me.
But that's my cross to bear. Damn. Okay, I was not sure about watching the new one, but it sounds good.
It's very good. It's like there's a lot of people who are incredibly frustrating, but that kind of helps with the mystery of it, right? Like,
okay,
of just being like, are you just annoying or are you trying to sabotage? Like, I don't know. But there's a very
reality
interesting
TV show too. It's
exactly.
Like, do you know the source material? Like,
right? Have you studied
have
the
you
text?
Watched
have you done this?
Every season of Amazing Race?
Right. So it is very good. There's a very interesting range of folks there. I am very invested in it. So that is my recommendation.
Wild. Okay, damn. It's been a minute since we talked about TV shows.
I know. I'm back on my bullshit. All right.
Good.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I will say the Christmas creep has started.
Yeah. Mariah Carey has defrosted. We are ready.
The benefit is that a lot of the holiday decorations that I have are not like throw up in your face Christmas. They just kind of look wintry.
Yes, yeah.
So I don't feel guilty for putting them up in November.
Yeah,
because it's just
fair.
like I felt a little bit weird. You know, November 1 rolled around and I was like, why are there pumpkins in my home?
Right, get out.
Right. And now I'm just like, okay, there's just like trees here. This feels fine.
Right.
So that I feel good about that. I think that I admitted this, right, like less than a month ago. I am still watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
I'm still watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
I'm almost at the end of season 11.
Mm-hmm. Damn. So you've been making waves, making progress.
I am watching Grey's Anatomy, unfortunately. But my happy thing this week is the Gina Davis, because I forgot that Gina Davis does like a whole ass stint on Grey's Anatomy. It like took my breath away.
Yeah,
because I was like, sorry, my first crush
like I can't handle this.
Grey's Anatomy. I need to go away. I'm sorry. So Gina Davis, hello. I will say, like, my first like human crush, right? Because like we'll be on, like, listen, this is a safe space. We've all had crushes on animated characters, right?
Sure,
like,
absolutely, human nature.
Right. That's just how it works. But like, when I was like looking at this, right? Because it's been a minute since I've really just like taken a gander on Gina Davis's IMDb. I was really looking and I was like, fuck, man, she's really been in like everything I love. Because, like, the titular, like, moment, TM, for me, with Gina Davis was A League of Their Own, obviously.
Yeah,
hello.
totally.
But it's, like, Thelma and Louise. Hello. And then, also, Stuart Little. Excuse me?
Famously, yeah.
Here's what I'll say. You might be, like, listening to this and screaming, why am I not saying Beetlejuice? Here's the thing. For a long time, that movie scared me.
Yeah.
Not because it's scary, but specifically the Beetlejuice. And I'm not going to say it another time.
Right.
I
don't want to enter him into my home.
I just can't deal with that today. I have plans after this. I need to clean my house. It just the makeup of that really freaked me out.
Really spooked you, yeah.
It really just, I didn't vibe with it. But everyone else in that, save Mr. Alec, I vibed with, right? Yeah. It was just great. I'm just very thankful that Gina Davis exists. That, like, and also, like, as of late, Glow, which, like, poured one out, right?
Yeah, rip.
And I think a lot of people were also like, damn, Gina Davis is in She-Ra? Like, hello?
Yeah.
I'm just very grateful that this tall-ass woman exists.
It's so important.
And has been in just, like, every titular thing since I was a kid. And I'm just like, thank you for your service. And I hope, for my sake, that you outlive me. Because I don't want to deal with that personally.
Yeah.
But I'm just very grateful that this woman was like, I feel like an outcast. I've wanted to act since I was like 6 years old. And god damn it, I'm going to do it.
God. We love to
I don't give a fuck what you all say.
I think it was like the Oscars or one of those award shows last year or something where they did like a whole tribute of her. Maybe it was the Emmys, I don't remember. But she was there with like one of the charities that she does a lot of work for or something.
Yeah.
And they just did like a whole supercut of like every great thing she's been in, and she was just being there, tall and beautiful, and it was awesome. I was like, fuck yeah, respect for our girl. Gina Davis.
I just love her so much.
We love to see it.
And it's one of those things, her career is one of those things where I just forget every single thing she's been in until I look at it and I'm like, god damn, thank you.
Yeah.
What are your royalty checks like?
Yeah.
So thank you, Gina Davis, for your service.
Absolutely.
I love you so much, and I'm so grateful that more people are probably rewatching the A League of Their Own movie because of the TV show.
Yeah, totally.
And falling in love with her and Madonna.
So important.
God damn it. All right, I'm watching that movie tonight. That's
I got plans.
I gotta do it. Speaking of important figures of my youth, can we talk about Stevie Nicks for a second?
Always.
Thank you. So friend of the family, Showbiz Cheat Sheet.
Yeah.
Has given us this fantastic and important information. We've talked about Stevie Nicks with Twilight before. This is not new news.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's just a huge ass ad for Young Sheldon on this article. That's so, I hate it. Stevie Nicks was like, BT Dubs, love these movies, love this work, thank you so much. I need to talk about how specifically the scene in New Moon relates to me and me personally.
God.
So apparently in Harper's Bazaar, this came out in 2011. I don't know what the fuck Cheat Sheet's doing, like bringing this up as of last week.
But thank you, I guess.
But thanks, I guess. She was like, I saw New Moon when I was on tour with Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Just imagine, just like a matinee before going on tour. And when Bella just sat there in the window crying for months because she thought she'd never see Edward again. Mm-hmm. Stevie goes on to say, it happened to me twice when there was no explanation. It was just over. And that doesn't surprise me, knowing Stevie Nicks and her music. But I love that.
The fact that she was like, it happened to me twice. It's so good.
I love her.
I love her. And honestly, it is a mood. You know, every time.
I also love that they continue to talk about this scene and how she was like so inspired that she did write a song about it, which I think we've talked about before, but it's important that you all remember that it does exist.
Right. We can't let that be lost to history, you know. It's got to bring it up every now and again.
We just can't let people like find that on TikTok and be like, did you know? And it's like, yes, we did know.
Yes.
We knew. This is just a random aside, because Venom is not... Well, I would say that Venom is not part of our current events content, but we did watch fucking... What was that vampire? It's already out of my brain.
Morbius?
Morbius? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, like... And that was Venom... That was Venom adjacent.
Sure.
So, like, it is kind of...
It's all within the fiction, I guess, yeah.
It's all connected. So Venom 3, I did forget that there was a second one, but they're making a third one.
Yeah.
There's a new director coming in named Kelly Marcel. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, I just want to say, excuse you. Because Sony is tapping into this immense talent because Kelly Marcel not only co-wrote both of the Venoms before this, but also wrote Cruella, 50 Shades of Grey, Saving Mr. Banks, and also the television series that I don't know, Terra Nova.
Hey, what a rap sheet, you know?
Listen, Sony, it's your money.
Right. Do whatever you want with it.
Apparently, you're gonna do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
I just also want to know why Disney thought, like, here's the resume of this person who wrote 50 Shades of Grey.
Right. That's
not obviously
safe.
The book. It wasn't E.L. James going under a different name.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, Cruella, sure. Let's get that snark in here. It'll be great.
Yeah. I do love the idea of, like, the fine folks at Sony are like, who do we peg to direct the third of our beautiful Venom movies? Surely the great minds behind Cruella and 50 Shades of Grey.
Sure.
I think that's beautiful. I think that says a lot about what the trajectory of Venom 3 is going to be.
That's what the fans want.
Right. Like, what if Venom 3 is just going to be really horny, you know? People have been clamoring for it to be, you know, it's already a gay rom-com from what I have been told.
That is what I have gathered.
Right. So yes. I think this could just push it a step further. Let's go. I'm into it. Got to get butts and seats, you know, somehow. Sony's really clamoring for it. They're really trying to get people going back to the movie theaters. So, you know.
Yes.
I get
Speaking of horny.
Yeah. Sure.
So while tumbling on Twitter.
Sure.
And watching fires happen there, I was accosted with a survey that I felt like I needed to share with you. And so I would like to provide a treat for you, and this is where you can now open the link I've told you not to open.
All right, I'm opening it.
Could you share with the class what this is?
Hold on. Uh-oh. This is a BuzzFeed quiz, really going back to our roots here, titled Yu-Gi-Oh! Or 50 Shades of Grey, which on principle I hate.
Yeah, I want to know, first of all, why the person who shared this onto my Twitter feed, who had taken it, is someone that I very much admire, is an author that I very much appreciate.
Sure.
And so I was very confused why I was seeing it there and not on our collective Twitter account where I expect to see this content.
Right.
I will say that the year that this was published makes a lot more sense to me, of it being 2016.
Sure.
When this podcast came out.
Uh-huh.
I just want to know why the person who made this Forbidden Season thought these two needed to go together.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that too, but it seems like if all of these quotes are one or the other and not all just 50 Shades, maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a lot more sick and twisted than I remember.
I hate it, but I did need to share it with you.
No, I do appreciate this, even though I do morally and physically reject it. Yeah. I do love that there are literally so many examples in this list, in this quiz.
Someone spent a lot of time making it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So thank you, Forbidden Season, for your service, I guess.
No. But I will give you the honor of sharing the email that we got, because it's not forbidden and it's not bad. Absolutely.
This is from one of our patrons, Emily Ozera, who writes, "Here I am listening to this week's episode, and right off the bat you bring up Guy Fieri, when this was me all weekend. Thanks for always making my week better." Little emoji with the tiny hearts around it. And it is a picture of Emily Ozera as Guy Fieri for Halloween. And it is perfection.
So accurate.
It's incredibly accurate. They got everything going on here. The flame shirt, absolutely. The rings, the cool hair.
Rings.
The rings are I love it. The everything. It's all, that's Guy Fieri. If you show me a picture, I'd be like, that's Guy Fieri.
Yeah, I see no difference, personally.
Right. They're the same picture.
I love it so much. Emily, thank you for your service of dressing up as the mayor of Flavortown. Right. I also do want in on all of the good snackage that
it's an incredibly good spread going on here. The decor is fire. The food spread, incredible. The art. Now I'm just like looking into your home, so this feels a little bit vulnerable here, but everything is great here.
I know that you had shared a photo of, I don't know if it was your friend or your partner or roommate, that I did not include, but I could only hope that they were dressed as the neglected son, the neglected Fieri.
Sure, yeah, the lost Fieri.
That's included on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives now, and he's like tall and lanky.
Yeah,
and that's my hope. Anyways, so this brought me so much joy. Thank you, as always, for your work and your gifts.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we last left off at the halfway point of Vampire Academy season 1, we saw a trial go bad. And not like a Judge Judy trial.
No.
More like a... Though that would have... I mean, that's in the book also. I would have loved to see that. More like a... You're stuck in the woods. Here's things.
Sure.
Survive. Trial go bad. Mikhail got.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was Dean or Herc who got as well.
Our favorite
one of the
characters.
Ones that we care so deeply about.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Things didn't go well. Namely.
Yeah.
There. That is important to leave off with. So, episode 6. How are you feeling?
I have questions.
Please.
Things are going in interesting directions, but I'm also like, what? Because last episode too, we were like, where is this gonna go? Like timeline-wise, right? Because obviously with Mikhail and not being Mason, and so that being a whole different perspective of this going on, right?
Yes.
And so I was really confused. Like this episode sort of starts with Rose having this like, there's this ceremony, right, for the marks, right?
Yes.
And she is incredibly upset and like essentially refuses it, right? And like runs away because she feels all this guilt about Mikhail. And I was kind of confused by that because like obviously they had like a bond and like they knew each other and they were friends, but they essentially, it seems like they're kind of putting that sort of Mason trauma on Mikhail and Rose, right? and it doesn't feel the same because like we don't have
Absolutely
that same
not.
relationship with Mikhail that we did and we currently do in the series with Mason, right? Even though it's still
Mason,
early.
notably, not in this episode at all.
No, where the fuck is Mason? Like, what is going on? So that felt like weird. Like, I get it's an easy fix of like not having to do, because like to set up the Mason stuff, there's a lot of other things you have to set up, right? So it's an easier thing to like cut to and like put on someone else, but it just doesn't like hit the same because it didn't seem like they had that close of a relationship.
They do the like flashback to try and emphasize the emotional weight, and all they have to pull from for Mikhail is them doing the like foot kick.
That's it, and that was like very recent, so it's like not, you know, it doesn't like hit. There's not like a montage you could be like, oh man, I'm really feeling the weight of this guilt and like the weight of doing this. 'Cause
Right.
it's like there's not much material to really go off from here.
It was so annoying to see Rose deny getting the Monja, the tattoo,
Yeah.
when it was only going to be one, when in the book it's two. Like, it's
Yes.
notably Spokane, it's the evil old vampire, and then his, like, partner
Yeah.
that's there. And so, and again, I think this comes back to the complaint that we've had before, right? Where it's like, everything that we love about Rose is being watered down in this series. And we're getting some of it. Like, the panic attack that she has when she leaves this ceremony is touching a little bit at the emotions. But
Totally.
Book Rose wouldn't have run away.
No.
Like, that is not... And some of the email that they touched on from her mom is trying to get at the fact that, like, you have to do this. This is your duty. You can't run away from this. So I was kind of bummed out to see that, like, she should be having these feelings, but Book Rose would have just, like, had that panic attack later.
Right.
And not run away.
And, yeah, especially like in private, because she's like, no one else could know that I'm fragile or like have
Exactly.
emotions in any way. Ugh.
I will say, something that we got in this episode that we did not get in the book at all was Mia being literally tortured.
Yeah.
And, like, we get that in the book in Spokane, right? But this was a different situation. And I thought that it was, I don't like it for Mia's character, because in the show, I love her. In the book, I didn't like her.
Right, yeah.
But I thought that it was interesting because I feel like in the show, they're doing a much better job of emphasizing how offensive magic isn't just like a crime, but it's also a sin.
Right.
And
it's
I
like
think that was
religiously bad.
obviously like said in the book, but because we're getting it from Rose's perspective, she's like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Right. Yeah. I don't care about Jesus.
right. She's like, I don't care. Like, that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show, they're like, if you do this, we are going to literally torture you with this like old ass torturing device.
Yeah. It's
And it's
pretty
scary.
brutal. Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah. Not a fan of that.
I think that it was like, especially seeing, I thought that it was an interesting choice too, because we're like getting so messy with the timelines that in the actual book, Mia went to the royal, I guess they call it the tour here, but she went to the palace to train.
Yeah.
After her mom, I think, died. Whereas in the show, like specifically in this episode, she was like, so Christian, you're here. Yeah. I'm here. She's like, no, I'm not hitting on you, asshat. Just teach me how to use magic.
That's it. That's all.
And I thought that their relationship in this episode was really interesting. And we got a little bit more of what I wanted between Rose and Christian.
Yeah, we're finally getting like that dynamic.
Yeah.
A little bit, which is nice.
And thankfully Mia has unlike in the book, she has like a good head on her shoulders. And it's like, Christian, you dumbass. Your parents don't want to just like chill and vibe with you.
No, that's
They're
not the
Strigoi
intention.
now, homie.
They're not just like asking you to hang out for like Thanksgiving and like have
No.
a little dinner. Like, come on now.
They don't want you to just like make stuffing for them, homie. They want you to be the stuff. Like, no.
Yeah.
I liked that interaction between the two of them, though.
Yeah.
So, I also thought that it was interesting that because of what happened with fucking Jesse telling on Mia, Sonia had to be the one to go on the tour.
Yeah. Like, they made a whole thing of being like, well, you're, you know, not upstanding of, you know, these morals or whatever. And Sonia's just like, I'll go. Like, just like Sparkboy in there, like, I can do it. Very interesting. Yeah, because I guess in the backdrop of all this, they're going on their tours, their little excursions, in addition to all this chaos that's happening, which is fun.
I feel like it also doesn't make any sense that Rose would have gone to do the relocation assignment and not been by Lissa's side.
Yeah, very strange.
And I get it, right? Like, I get why, if they are trying to do that Mikhail is Mason's backstory, then she would want to try to get some closure from that grief.
Right.
But that's your bond, babe. What are you doing?
Come on now. We're not at that point yet. We're just like separating ourselves.
No, absolutely not. Especially when she's starting, like, Rose is aware at this point that Lissa is dealing with the darkness, TM. I have questions. This is where it's starting to make me think that, like, I do think that the two showrunners that we have read the source material. That's clear to me. But I think that it's stuff like this that it's clear that Ferrero was not involved.
Yeah, completely.
Because the motivations that are happening with these characters is not there.
No, it's so
at times
so different. Yeah. I will say, did enjoy that we get a little Mia Meredith kiss going on here.
Oh my god. Okay,
Very sweet.
I totally thought that because this is an NBC thing, right? Like, it's Peacock, right? But it's still NBC. That they were going to be like, well, we gave you Victor and his beautiful husband, who I don't remember his name. Papa is what Sonia calls him.
Yeah.
So, like, we gave you one. We're going to give you one gay couple.
Yeah.
That's it. We're doing it for the queers and that's it.
Right.
When Mia, because that happens at the end of Mia and Christian's training, right? She gets that call and she hears on the phone something happened to Meredith. And I've never seen Mia run down those stairs. She's literally like, it's like a puff of smoke. She zoops
she's
to
zooming.
go.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And Meredith, listen, she's down bad because even though Lissa only got like a little bit of her glow on her, and thank God, otherwise Meredith would have been dead.
Yeah.
After that attack. And I will say, the reason why I mentioned Herc and or Dean at the beginning is because the other one who didn't die last episode did die this episode.
Yeah, so they both
popped
ended up
his head
getting
off. So if Herc was the one who died last episode, then Dean is the one who died at this episode, which is why we don't care about them.
Yeah.
So Meredith got her chest like absolutely ripped the fuck out.
Totally.
Lissa saved her a little, right?
Yeah.
So she's like now in critical condition. Meredith looked down bad. But as soon as Mia walked into the room, oh my god, she like lit up and I was dying over it.
It was so cute.
And when we saw them a little bit later towards the end, when Mia was like asleep on her little bed.
Yeah.
Fucked up. I was dying.
How dare you do this to me?
How dare you think this is okay?
We also, notably, we get Adrian, finally.
Okay. I must have seen, when I had mentioned this to you before, I must have seen the actors, like, hey, I'm an actor photo, their like
Sure.
headshot.
Yeah.
Because the photo that I saw looked absolutely nothing like Adrian in this. And I say that in a really good way.
Yeah.
I have been very openly critical about Adrian in the books.
Yeah.
Save, like, the last half, I think, of the 4th book that we read.
Yeah, right.
And I stand by it.
Sure.
I stand by it. Unfortunately, when I saw Adrian in the show with those bags under his eyes and looking thick as fuck, which is not how he was described in the books, right. I would do anything for that man.
Yeah, because, like, this guy is really good at being Adrian, because I am, when I read this, the first time a very long time ago, Adrian has all the check marks of, like, asshole,
yes.
love interest, right? He's, like, incredibly wispy. He's, like, got dark hair. He's, like, always smoking clove cigarettes. He's an asshole. And this guy is, like, carrying that energy, but in a different way. And, like, him just, like, being, like, in a robe, like, at his own party is incredibly good. He looks tired all of the time. I'm obsessed with how he's doing this. I love him.
Because the way that, like, Adrian in the book was described was, like, he knew something was wrong with him, but he was being so overt with, like, I don't give a fuck energy.
Yeah.
And it was like, you're projecting too hard, so I don't like you. Mm-hmm. Whereas the way that this actor is playing it is, like, it's so clear with both the costuming and the makeup. And I think the actor, too, he's playing it like he knows he's dying. Mm-hmm. And something about that, because of what we are seeing with the darkness, makes so much more sense with Adrian.
Totally.
And I love it, because he's, like, surrounded by opulence. He's got all the money in the world. This fucking art collection. Hello?
Yeah, it's wild.
And he doesn't care. Mm-hmm. Because he's like, every time I use my magic, I'm dying more.
Right.
Oh no, that's not what I wanted.
This is gonna be a problem for me.
I did not want to like Adrian.
Yeah. I love
And the way that they showed the dream.
Oh, it's so good. That was one of the better ways of them depicting magic on this, because, like, before we've seen Lissa use her compulsion and stuff, and, like, the little speaking lines coming out of her mouth. It's like, it works, whatever, it gets the job done. But first she, like, does that, she, like, gets an invite to this party that she's not supposed to be in, right? But it's like, I need to see his art collection. Maybe it'll tell me about Saint Vladimir. And he's like, no, I'm not going to show you my art. It's very important to me. And she does her compulsion twice. And you can tell it's not working on him. Like, he knows what she's doing. You can tell he knows what she's doing. But he, like, still kind of plays into it, because he's like, I got nothing better to do today. And also, like, this will be a fun, situation.
Yeah, might as well figure out what's going on.
Right, might as well just, like, see this through, And then, like, she falls asleep after what looks like she's
one
doing
rip
of, like, a bong that looks like a test tube.
Oh my god. And he warns her, by the way. He's like, you probably shouldn't drink and smoke. And she's like, fuck it.
Yeah, like, I'm out. And then immediately collapses. And they have this, like, conversation that feels very seamless. And he's like, wake up. And she's like, what? And she's back alone on the couch where she was, and he, like, walks in, and it's so good. It's so good.
And the whole thing about Lissa is that, like, she should have known from the jump that, like, the compulsion didn't work, because the way that it was described in the books is that when compulsion works, people get almost like glazed eyes, because they're not doing it of their own volition. Right. Whereas Adrian was like, yeah, I mean, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, whatever, sure.
Whatever, yeah. Yeah, I'll do this as long as you just, like, don't touch my shit, I guess. Oh, no. I don't want to love him. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Because he looks... Okay, here's the unfortunate thing. Watching him made me understand why people love Timothée Chalamet. I just want to feed him soup.
Yeah. I just think he's like a sickly little boy.
And that's such a problem because when I look at him, I love him and I don't want to. And I think the problem too is like knowing the way that he interacts with Rose, I fucking cannot wait to see what he does around her. And that shit annoyed me in the book, but I feel like it could work now.
Yeah, I think he can pull it off in a way, and especially the way Rose's character is too now. Like, I think delicious.
No. So B plots that are happening, right? This tour is important, right? That's like what is, they're supposed to be rich people spending rich money, but also it's to like help choose a new heir.
Right.
The first place that they stopped at, which is like before Lissa gets a invite to Adrian, is this province where the first party, they wear all white, very culty, very creepy, very Midsommar.
Yes.
With these flower crowns.
Absolutely.
One of the things that we notice that happens is we've seen before that Sonia can pick up auras because she's a spirit user too. Mm-hmm. One of the things that they showed this episode that we hadn't seen in the books before is she can also pick up memories with her auras. Mm-hmm. And it's just like a snapshot. I don't know if it's the most recent or if it's like the most powerful.
Yeah.
But she's using it to help Victor, who's obviously like trying to help get the crown.
Right.
And is like, hey, Jesse's an asshat. Obviously knew that because the notes that Mia gave Sonia are like too complicated for her. Mm-hmm. She's like, Jesse's an asshat, and also his dad, Lord Zeklos, is a fuckwad.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, this isn't the first episode that Lord Zeklos has been in, but something about this episode, that dude should be in a fucking Game of Thrones series because he scares the shit out of me.
He's so terrifying.
He's got, I don't like that man. Like, the actor's fine. He's doing his job, but he scares me.
But I'm scared of him.
I don't like it. During the relocation thing, because Rose is obviously gone, girl. Mm-hmm. The first place that they have to, in this whole relocation thing, I don't really understand it. I think it's part of the whole like population control. Yeah. But the person who's heading all of it is fucking Mason's dad. Yep. And he's a really bad guy. Yeah. He's hot, but he's a really bad guy.
Yeah, he's really attractive, but fundamentally evil.
He's a really evil dude. And the first place that Rose, and obviously Dimitri, because Dimitri's the one that's heading it, Avi, they go to is Mikhail's town that he grew up with. And specifically his dad, who's still there, and his sister, who's a guardian. Right. And I loved this, that like Rose walked into their house, like didn't fucking knock or anything. And like, what's up? No manners, this woman. And like says hi to Sasha, who's Mikhail's sister. Mm-hmm. And immediately Sasha's like, Rose, fuck you. Right. And just leaves. Oh God.
So good.
It was so good. Anyways, the whole thing that I love about Rose is that Dimitri and Rose this whole time have been like, we don't agree with what's happening of like having to move all of these people here. Mm-hmm. But they're having this little like tiff because Rose wants Sasha to be able to leave. Yeah. And Dimitri's like, I have to follow orders. And Rose has the audacity to say, I don't.
Right. Yeah.
As if her mom isn't Janine.
Right. Come on.
Excuse me. There's a part during this Midsommar dinner where Jesse is being a little bitch baby. To be fair, he was trying to go after this woman he was trying to suck blood with before. And then his dad, like, smacked him into stone. So he was, like, going through it. Yeah. But he told Eddie he touched Eddie, which don't do that.
Yeah,
he was like, we need to leave
get away
early.
from him.
And they left before the convoy, which this man, Jesse never follows orders. He's so entitled. I don't know why the show is trying to make me care about Jesse.
Yeah.
But because they did that, there was a trap that the Strigoi set. And that's what led to Herc or Dean being killed. Mare almost dying. And then, honestly, Jesse almost dying because they did try to pull him out of the car.
Yeah, they were getting pretty close, for sure.
Yeah. It was not going well. I was trying to think of what else happened. There was a point near the end of the episode where Tatiana was provoking, and she's been trying to do this, right? Like, we know that Tatiana in this show specifically is a shit stirrer. She's really good at it.
Yeah, she's been playing a really good double game at this moment.
Yeah.
But now it seems like she's kind of like paving a certain direction for herself. And obviously, like, Victor's really trying for the crown, and so is Tatiana. And Tatiana kind of just goes off and being like, you know, Victor was irresponsible, and also, like, Mikhail was a bad guardian in general, and just
yeah, because she's talking to Mason's dad.
Right, just like fully going off and talking shit. And obviously, at the sight of this, Sonia gets like super worked up about it, and to the point where like you can see like the darkness take over and her fangs come out and like essentially attacks her, which makes everyone obviously scramble and makes like Victor look really bad, and Tatiana like this, oh, how poor soul, whatever. But yeah, very it's not looking great for our homeboy.
And I feel like because it's Tatiana and she's really crafty like that, she would have said something to instigate. If it wasn't Sonia, because originally it was going to be Mia, she would have said something to instigate either of them, right?
Totally. Yeah.
To make Victor look bad. Because it was very intentional. But because it was Sonia, she was saying stuff like to Sonia beforehand of like, Mikhail should have been at a desk job.
Yeah.
Stuff that was like really fucky and didn't make any sense.
Right.
And so naturally, like, it made Sonia look, they were saying like it made her look, quote, like a rabid animal when they were playing it on the news. It was just really shitty.
Yeah.
But there was Rose and Dimitri were setting up they were trying to like lure Strigoi in at this town that they were at still. And they set up this, like, Rose did, by the way. She set up this, like, fire circle. And I thought it was, like, super smart, right? Because the Strigoi could only go through one thing. And then they just jumped over the fire.
It's like, okay, maybe that didn't work. It did look very sick, though. It was a very cool shot of, like, that.
It was cool.
Big fire circle.
But then I thought it was super hot when they touched backs while they were fighting.
Yeah.
Because that's like the whole, they mention that a lot in the books, that Rose and Dimitri do that when they're like really in sync, that they touch backs. And I was like, ooh, that's hot.
Right.
So I loved that. I also loved that eventually Dimitri did lean in and say that Sasha had, quote, like died on the pyre, even though she, like, Rose had told Sasha to run, which I thought was very good. So
and the fact
Dimitri really like bucking authority there.
The way he handled it too, because Rose is just going to come out and say it.
Yes.
She was like, "Can I speak?" And Dimitri was like, "Absolutely not," and just like told that lie. I was so hot. So
oh my god. So at the end of this episode, Lissa is like high as fuck. She's playing with these balloons.
Yeah.
And it was so funny for no reason. And she's like, damn, Adrian, you're a spirit user. That's dope.
Yeah.
We should, like, talk more.
We should link
and
up.
He's like... Adrian's like, okay, Lissa, you're weird. Which is a complete opposite from how they are in the books, and I appreciate that a lot. The actual end of this episode, I was having heart palpitations and struggling to breathe. Because it's so, like, this is not how the book went. And so I was like, first of all, you can't just, like, change stuff up on me.
Yeah, you can't catch me off guard like this.
But also, I was just like, we know that in the book, Dimitri has a real thing for, like, not just Rose's hair, but, like, her neck.
Yes.
He's a real freak like that.
Right.
And so after this, after the whole, like, fight and them having this, like, weird interaction with this, like, Mikhail, new captain who's not Alberta, they're, like, Dimitri's the one who's giving her tattoo.
Which, like,
okay.
Hello.
And so obviously, like, she has her hair pulled up, right? Yeah. And she has her usual, like, jacket, like, tank top thing. It's, like, pulled down a little bit so that obviously, like, he can reach.
Yeah.
So we can see cleavage.
Yeah.
Great. Good. And so he gives her the mark. And then, because ice packs would be inefficient, he uses a fucking ice cube.
God.
Afterwards.
This man.
And so it's just the two of them, right? I don't know where the fuck they are, but, like, tensions are high.
Yeah.
And you see Rose turn around, and she does the thing where, like, her lips are parted, and you can just, like, tell. She's like, this shouldn't turn me on, but, like, it is. And then it's not just one kiss. They are, like, kissing.
Yeah. Oh, how dare they?
How dare they?
You need a warning for this, Peacock.
Because, like, if I remember right, in the book, they didn't... I can't remember. Did they kiss before Victor's spell on the necklace?
I don't think so.
I think that was the first time that they had, like...
Right. Because...
almost done something.
Because she had, like, had a lot of feelings, obviously, about it, but, like, was never pushed over the edge until, I think,
exactly,
the Victor thing. Yeah.
Damn.
Fuck.
Damn. There was just a lot that was happening.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting it to end with, like, Mia in Meredith's bed, which was already, like...
Yeah, hello.
I was not... And it wasn't... I will say, it was not... It was very pure, right? Because obviously, like, Meredith's, like, coming back from the dead. It was just very, like, kind and soft, and I love that. Very sweet,
yeah.
And then on the opposite end, we have these two feral... just, like... going at it. Literally sticking stuff into skin. Yeah. Anyways, I was struggling to breathe there. But it was very good. So good. We have 4 more episodes left.
Oh my gosh.
Which is wild.
Yeah. I can't believe.
I know. But we have some amazing patrons to thank. Do you want to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Katie Black.
Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Pew. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Thank you to Mulch Gray. Mulch.
Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ooh. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ow. Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
O'Shea. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh. Thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Pew, pew, pew. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ooh. Thank you to Samara Rinaldi.
Ow. Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh. Thank you to Tess Avery.
Ow, ow. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ooh. Thank you to my mom, your mom, our mom, Kelly Beck.
Mom. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh. Thank you to Laura Forty.
Ow, ow. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh. Thank you to Maria Swan.
Ow. Thank you to India Peach.
Ooh. Thank you to Mayor of Flavortown, Emily Ozera.
Thank you for your service. And last, but certainly not least, thank you to Jaylene Ivishkov.
Ooh. I have a fan fiction for you that I found.
Hell yeah.
This is by the author Impact Velocity.
Okay.
It is titled Aftermath. The summary is filling in some of the blank spaces between Meredith and Mia scenes. And this was published 2 weeks ago.
Lovely.
I will be reading from chapter 1, which is titled I Should Be Sleeping. Okay. She was worried. She was worried? This girl's going to be the death of her. Then again, she's training to be a guardian. Sumroy was always going to be the death of her. She might as well enjoy her demise. If she lets her mind wander, it keeps ending back at Mikhail and the look on Eddie's face when she told him. So she's trying to focus on nicer things, like Mia. Mia, who really shouldn't have been out there, outside the wards. Bad shit's out there. But Mia's one of the sharpest people she knows, and the Strigoi threat is pretty fucking obvious. She knew what she was doing. She always knows what she's doing. Meredith's always admired that about her. That brings her back to she was worried. Worried enough to take a jaunt into Strigoi territory with Jesse Zeklos, of all people. Ew. If she's ever met a man that defines that German word that means a face in need of a fist, it's that guy. Giving him a black eye or, ooh, breaking his nose would have been extremely satisfying. Cathartic, even. Seeing him choke had started off feeling that way. But he really wasn't worth Mia getting into that kind of trouble killing a royal would bring. Mia, the woman willing to risk getting turned into the undead just to make sure Meredith was all right. Okay, that part's not terrible. A little terrifying, maybe, but the sweep of warmth that washes over her every time she remembers that bit has her fighting to keep a smile off her face, even though it's dark. End scene.
Oh, so cute.
I hate these two.
God.
I hate them.
I hate them and I love them.
I hate them and I love them.
Ugh.
So that has several chapters and is very sweet and pure. So enjoy that while you wait for us to review the next episode.
Ugh, incredible.
Literally blushing. It's so annoying. I hate it.
Yeah.
Well, folks, tell your friends about the show.
Yes.
Use your friend's Peacock login to watch Vampire Academy.
Yeah, let us get another season, please. God.
Yeah, I feel like I'm worried that this is going to end in a way that's going to piss me off because we're not going to get any resolution.
Yeah.
And I'm very terrified of that because we might not get a season 2. So I'm worried.
Yeah.
And until next week, as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.